Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. I'm back with Arouba today. So, Arouba is a counselor, or if you like to say it is a therapist, or anything you wish to tell, but she helps you with mental health and different stuff. So, thank you very much for being here. It's my pleasure to have you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's really a pleasure that what you're doing, and you're doing a wonderful work, and it's an honor to be here. Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you very much, Arouba, for that. So, before we get into any discussion, that would be great if you could introduce yourself and about your work and what you do.
Okay, I'm Aruba Kabir, and I work as a mental health therapist, a counselor. I have a company called Enso Wellness, and I've been working as a counselor for last 8 years. I
Mm.
had a studio in Gurgaon, based out of Gurgaon, but I used to travel a lot for work before pandemic. But nowadays all the work is online, of course. But I as well the aim and goal is to create awareness about mental health, emotional health. It is it is like there's a stigma around mental health. People don't reach out, people don't talk about it, people don't get help on time, people want to talk about physical illnesses but not about the mental health challenges. So yeah, that is the aim and goal, and I do that through sessions, through workshops. I write for various news mediums like Indian Express, Hindustan Times, Vogue. I try to be everywhere there where it is possible to create an awareness, to answer people, to tell them how important it is to take care of their emotional and mental health. Yeah, that is what I do on everyday basis.
Okay. Thank you very much for introducing yourself. Thank you very much. What do you think? Of course, we know what mental health is. The easy way people know mental health is that it's same as physical health, but the only difference is it's for your mind and physical health is for your body. But I would love to hear a perspective from you. What do you think is mental health more than just the definitions we have upon or top of the iceberg? Of course, iceberg don't really exist nowadays because of the climate change. But anyway, what do you think? What do you think is mental health in your own word, in your own perspective? Yeah.
If I have to tell people, I tell people we are blessed with wonderful, wonderful emotions, be it joy, happiness, pleasure, embarrassment, shame, guilt. We are blessed with all these emotions, and each and every emotion is important. It's very, very important to humankind. But when any of these emotions, when any of these emotion is unbalanced, is overwhelmed, you find yourself in a challenging situation. And this challenging situation comes from your social environment, your family, your what you are influenced at school, college, office, your cultural things. All these things are like factors which contribute, and that is your mental health. This all constitutes your mental health. And if any of these emotion is unbalanced, you find yourself overwhelmed. People think that shame, guilt, embarrassment, sadness is not important. Why should we have it? Well, if we didn't have shame, embarrassment, guilt, we might do things which are not good for human beings or for the world. So it keeps our emotions in check. But anything, if you're sadness, you are supposed to get sad. If you talk to me rudely or say something which does not match with my idealization or my thinking, I would feel upset, I would feel sad. That's a human nature. But if that sadness lingers on, and if that sadness hampers my daily activity, that is the problem, that is the challenge that I'm facing, that my emotions are overwhelmed. Now I need to take care of it, and that is what is that emotional health, mental health. Now people think that is like, why is mental health so important, why do we have to talk about it? We are physically doing good, everything is fine. Doesn't matter how physically fit you are, well you are, but if your thought is not right, it's like if your thoughts are not right, your feelings are not right. If your
Mhm.
feelings are not right, your behavior is not right.
Yeah.
And first, it only affects your feelings. You are
Okay.
being sad, you're being irritated, you are being upset, you are
Mhm.
being any other thing. But then it starts manifesting of your mental health and physical health. And that's what's so important with physical health. You need to talk about mental health.
Okay, great, great. Thank you, thank you. Yes, I think there was a slightly disconnection in between, but that's okay. I think the part was covered and we missed a bit of it, but that's all fine. Yeah, so next thing which I would like to get into, Aruba, is well, if you could introduce us to today's topic and what we're going to discuss about, that's going to be wonderful, please.
So today we are going to talk about anxiety, various forms of anxiety, how anxiety is described, what anxiety in real is, why do we experience anxiety, and what can we do to overcome it. So yeah, that is our topic today.
Okay, okay. So yeah, so before beginning, first question to you is that what is anxiety? What do you think is anxiety, and how does the WHO or the big medical institutions define them?
Okay, when I'm talking to people, I try to keep it very plain and simple. I don't use a lot of medical language.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'll be the only one who will understand it. So I'm going to keep it very simple, not using the definitions. But yes, I say we are human beings and we are called social animals for a reason.
Yeah.
If we look at a background, the ancient background, in the olden days when the man was living in the wild, in the caves, there was something called flight and fight mechanism. If you have a bear in front of you, you are only one person, you're like, I can't fight it. So you fly, you run away. You're like, you save your life. That is what your mind tells you. You can't fight it, so run away. Then if you're 10 people and there's a bear and you know you can fight it, then you fight it. That fight and flight mechanism. Now this comes from our ancient, so it is kind of genetic in us, that fight and flight mechanism. And today it is natural to feel anxious, to feel worried, to feel nervous. Anxiety is, after all, what? Fear of unknown, which has not happened yet. You are anticipating what might happen. You have a fear of what might happen, what is the outcome of a situation, a word I say, thing I write, place I go to. What is the outcome of that? That is what you're scared about, worried about, which is natural. Before an exam, you feel anxious. Before catching up a flight, you are anxious. Like there's this anxiety. And if this anxiety wasn't there, we wouldn't be able to function. We wouldn't be ready for it. If we don't think that earthquake is going to come and we are scared of it, we won't make our houses stronger. We'll be like, so what will happen? Then we can't save ourselves. So this anxiety is very important. But again, if this anxiety gets overwhelmed, gets too much for a person, that it starts manifesting in mental and physical form, that is the time you need to see a doctor. If you are so nervous that, okay, fine, before an interview you were nervous, but you did go to an interview, faced it, whether passed, failed, that is secondary, but you did go, that is okay. But if because of the nervousness you did not just appear only, that
Hmm.
is the thing to consider about, that I can't let this anxiety win. God has blessed us with three fears when we are born: fear of loud noises, fear of, oh, sorry, two fears: fear of loud noise and fear of height. That is the only two fears we are born with. Rest, all the fears we have: fear of spiders, snakes, interviews, public speaking, falling in love, loneliness, failure, rejection. It is all learned from our society, from our environment. So you are not born with it. And if you're not born with it, you can work on it. And we have even worked on fear of heights and fear of loud noises as well by now. We have adapted so well. So when you can conquer something which has been given to you by birth, why can't you conquer something which is just learned from your conditioning? So that is what is anxiety is. It's good to have anxiety. Anxiety is not a bad thing. It saves us. It keeps us ready for the struggles to come, for the challenges to come. But yes, if this anxiety starts manifesting physically, mentally, so much that it hinders your growth, then that is the time you need to speak to a professional.
Okay, okay. This was also one thing I was reading about, and there was very interesting stuff written on this, that the anxiety is not same for everyone. you know yeah, that as you were explaining, that somebody feels anxiety from spider, from lizards, like because anxiety is fear. So fear from something, fear from cats, fear from dogs, fear from animals, fear from some kind of stuff. There are some kids who cry seeing uncles because of the mustache. They feel fear because of seeing those uncles with that mustache. So that is also a fear. So what are some fears which we see but we don't understand or recognize?
Okay, let me just ask you one thing. If I ask you, imagine red color, what comes to your mind? What is red for you? What does red mean to you?
Just a color.
And what does it? How does it make you feel? What does it stand for you?
uh, okay, so it makes me remember of blood.
Blood. Okay.
Yeah,
And does that give you a good feeling or a bad feeling? What?
both, sometimes both.
And right now, what do you remember of when you said blood? And what is the memory that came to you?
The bad one.
Bad one, right. Now, you said blood because you definitely would have a memory associated to it. Red color, blood, sadness. It's a connection, right? Now, if I ask another person, what is red to you? Red is passion. Red is passion. And what does passion to me? Passion mean to you? Love. And what does love mean to you? Oh, this and that. That's a happy memory. It's not same for everyone.
Yeah.
Have you said that some people get scared of mustaches? Some people don't. There would be a history behind it. When you go back to your thing now, that blood. Oh, I saw somebody bleeding. It was hurtful. It was sad. So, and somebody would say, oh, blood was good because my father needed blood. Somebody came, somebody gave the blood, and my father was saved. So, has a good memory with it. Right? So, same is with anxiety. Anxiety does not feel same for everyone. It is different. For example, few things which come under anxiety is overthinking. Some people think and think and think. It's about thoughts. You're continuously so stuck in your head that you're not able to perform in the real world. You don't know what to say. You're constantly overthinking. Some people have OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. Now again, some people think OCD is all about cleanliness. No, OCD is about cleanliness, thoughts, rituals. It can be in different things. You're obsessed with something. So then there is PTSD, post-trauma stress disorder. In fact, today itself I put a post on Instagram about PTSD. That's also a form of anxiety because you have witnessed certain events in your life which were traumatic. It can be domestic violence, it can be sexual assault, it can be earthquake, it can be anything. So it is not same for everyone. It depends on few things. Your upbringing first, how your childhood has been. Has it been loving, supporting, or were you ignored as a child? Were you not heard as a child? So that becomes one. Then experiences of life. As you're growing up, what kind of experiences are you having? It could be like I had this one client and she said once, she said that every time I have to go for a presentation I develop loose motions and nervousness, and it is so much that I can't go on a stage. I was like, okay, and can you relate to it? What is the reason? That there's a memory or something? She's like, yeah, I feel like that little girl in the classroom. I was supposed to go on the dice, and she, wetted her pants. She was a young child, 3, 4 year old. Teacher might have said something loudly, and it just came. Now she feels it every time she has to go on a stage. So that is the memory with it. Stage, school, pant wetting, now nervousness and loose motions. So you have a past with it. It could be genetic also. I'm not saying there are not genetic reasons. There are, but genetic reasons are very rare, very few. It runs in families. That's very rare. Mostly people say, oh, my mother is an anxious person, so I'm an anxious person. No, you did not become anxious person of genetics. You became anxious person because that is what you saw. That is what you saw, and that is what you absorbed. So anxiety is not same for everyone. Some people get physical manifest. Some people are like, they get a thought, they get worried in their head, they rationalize it, reason it, and it is gone there.
Mm.
But some people feel it in the head and then it transfers in the body. That becomes a panic attack. Like, heart palpitations, sweating, shivering, all these things come. So different people can experience the same emotion differently because of our background, because of our upbringing, because of our exposure, because of our experiences of life. So it is different for different people.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you very much for giving that in deep and helping with that. So now, how can somebody deal with it? Uh, of course, we would recognize it. We understand when we are fearing something or having some kind of problem. So how can we deal with it now?
Okay, before that, I want to talk about why is anxiety on such a rise?
Okay,
You
sure.
know,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Anxiety was always there, but nowadays, why is it that every second person says, I have anxiety, I feel so anxious, oh my God, why? And especially among youth, increasing number of children are and adolescent are diagnosed with the disorder, they are on medication. So that means there must be something, you know now if we see the reason for the general rise in the anxiety, it is the burden of uncertainty
Mhm.
in almost every domain of life. You talk about schooling, colleges, relationships, economy, cultural shifts. That is number one. Now, uncertainty does not cause anxiety basically, but it does provide the breeding grounds to it. It's very important. And if, as a child, you were not taught how to deal with it, you were not taught something, called meditation, breathing, physical exercises, having a good lifestyle. So it's like there's this FOMO. You want to be everywhere, fear of missing out. I have clients from six, my youngest client is 13 years old. My oldest client right now is 55 years old. But in between, when I have this 16 to 25 age group, they're anxious about everything, about their exam, about a gadget, about a new technology, because everything is changing on such a fast pace. Now, if I go not a long ago, but 100 years back, if I go 100 years back and I have to meet Lakshit, what do I have to do? I will have to fly all the way down to Bangalore, sit with him. There would be no flights, but maybe go by road or
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
to Bangalore, sit with him. I won't have tension of mobile, emails. I will not be multitasking. It's one point thing. That is what my brain is. Now, today, while having a talk with you on a podcast, I can see you. So, my vision, my eye senses are also working. And then I have my two phones on two sides, and it's like pinging continuously. Then there are laptop notifications also. Then back of my head is, oh, I have to have that call, I have to have that meeting, I have a session, all this. So it's a multitasking. But now you change the world, became multitask. But did you change your brain? Did you train your brain to be multitasking? No, you didn't do anything for it. It was the same who could carry 100 volts ka load, and now today it is carrying 200 volts ka load. But what did you do to strengthen it?
Mhm.
Did you learn something new? Did you learn any coping techniques? No, nothing. But you are like with the same mind, you are doing 101 things, but you are not giving anything in return. That is the reason that anxiety is on rise. We're not taking care of ourselves. Now, what can we do to begin with? First, you will have to figure out what are your symptoms. It's very important. As we talked about, different people have different symptoms. So you have to figure out what are your symptoms. What are you? Is it thoughts? Is it physical manifestation? Is it restlessness? Is it losing focus, lacking focus? Is it not performing in your studies, but all other areas are good? Is it like not performing in your relationship, but all other areas are good? You will have to figure out, where is my anxiety affecting my life? Number one would be that, become aware of it. Second, don't miss on your physical workout. People take it so lightly, and people do ask me, you being a mental health therapist, why are you advocating for physical workout so much? Do you have tie-ups with a gym? Do you have tie-ups with, I'm like, no. When we mental health experts are talking to you, we are understanding the patterns. Now, to understand that patterns, I need to have good focus. I need to have good attention. I need to be attentive to you and then connect the dots. That can happen when my hormones are balanced. And physical workout is one of the best things to do because you release endorphins, feel good hormones. So you have freshness in thoughts,
Mhm.
you get good sleep, good appetite. Now, most of the things are resolved when we are sleeping. Our subconscious mind automatically resolves it. But that sleep should be when the sky is dark, not when the sky is bright and you put black curtains and you're like, okay, I am sleeping. No, it doesn't work because our biological clock is 25 hours. Outside clock is like it is 24 hours and we are 25 hours. It should match. If it is not matching, then those hormones, melatonin is not released. Then that healing mechanism is not happening. So you need to do physical workout, sleep well, eat well, and drink water. So I was doing this series on Instagram, Let's Ask the Doctor, in which I invited a couple of psychiatrists. And this one psychiatrist said such a beautiful thing. He said, for your physical body, your food is your food, what you are eating, grains, fruits, vegetables, and all. But for your brain, the food is water.
Okay.
If anything goes to your brain, that is water, the liquid intake. So 4 to 5 liters a day should be there. So these are certain things which will keep your hormones in check. When your hormones are balanced, you will experience less anxiety. Then, post the physical workout, good sleep, good diet, water intake, then I say learn meditation. Meditation is not closing your eyes and sitting still at one place. No. Meditation is becoming mindful. Focus on your breath. Let your breath guide you. Focus on something else. Do musical meditation, do dance meditation. If you're somebody who cannot sit still at a place, do dance meditation, do musical meditation, do some form of meditation, but learn meditation. Meditation will help you calm down. That calmness will come, it will cool you down, you will have clarity about thoughts, you will have patience. Then I would say, keep, when if you are in office or if you are in school and you have to study at home and you have a lot of things going on, now your mind is continuously reminding you of everything which you have not done when you're doing something. That is the pattern of, hey, you did not do that, you had to call that friend, oh, your girlfriend is angry with you, you're this is this, everything is reminded then when you're doing something. So keep a distraction sheet by your side. Like I keep such notes around me, you know. I keep it like this. And if I'm having a session with a client and something comes to my mind, I take the pen, I write it down. It's like acknowledging my thought. I acknowledged it. Okay, now my mind knows. She will not forget it because she wrote it down. It
Yeah.
can be an easy thing that, did you order that on the big basket? It can be very simple thing. So I write big basket over and my focus is back on my client. I am not a genius. I'm not a magician. I also have issues going on in my life, challenges going on in my life. But we experts, we learn the ways around it. So we call it a distraction sheet. Keep a distraction sheet by your side. And if something comes to mind, write it down. Thoughts are like humans, egoistic. If you don't acknowledge them, they keep coming back. Their egos get hurt. Acknowledge it, finish it off, then you can do it. So maybe distraction. Now if you are somebody, again I give it to my clients and
Okay.
I charge them for it, but I'm just saying about it. Yes. So I'm just, keep a worry period for you. 20 minutes a day, I am going to sit and worry about everything, what my relative said, what my college teacher said, what that gift shop person said, what I felt. Worry, 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 worry in that 20 minutes. Curse, crib, cry, worry. Now, after a few days, your mind will know, oh, I have a designated time to worry. Right now, let me focus on something. And you
Mm.
tell yourself, you will have self talk, you will have to have a self
Yeah.
dialogue
Yeah.
for a few days. Training your mind is like training your puppy. Consistency has to be there. It will not come overnight. But if you teach something once, it goes for the lifetime. How we teach something to a puppy today, it goes then for the lifetime. We don't have to do it again then. The same thing. But consistency is something you will have to repeat it, because you have been telling yourself all these years that you are not good enough, you are not smart enough, your physical appearance is no. You have been self-critical to yourself for all your life. Now if you want to change it, you will have to take some time. Sometimes, clients come to me and they are like, I have been having this problem for as long as I remember. How many sessions will it take to go away? I'm like, wow, you had it as long as you remember. Now you're like, how many sessions will it take? Dude, first begin. Let's see how long does it take. Everybody is different. I cannot say that Lakshit for Lakshit 5 sessions will work. For Aruba, same 5 sessions will work. No, maybe I would need 10, or maybe I would need only one. So we don't customize any. We have to have customized session for everybody. And they're like, why don't you keep like these many sessions? It will help. I'm like, because it's not a chemical. What we are doing, antibiotic is done. Like, okay, 21 days dose, 7 days dose, 10 days dose. But we are not giving medication, it's therapy. So different people have different ways of responding to therapy. The same way different people have different ways of training their mind, but have consistency. I guess, yeah, these will be certain things if people practice it at home. Good food, good sleeping, good water intake, meditation, physical workout, distraction sheet, worrisome period. So I guess that should help.
Okay, great, great. So yeah, thank you very much for covering, I think, almost every part of it, and every getting into deep and deep and deep. That was wonderful. So before ending up this session, what would be your message to people watching this or listening this or anything?
Okay, I really want to tell people that it's don't shy away from talking about your emotional health. After all, we are taught how to respect our others, or how to go to school, how to grade well, how to tie your shoelaces, how to brush your teeth. But we were never taught how to take care of your emotions. Don't blame your parents, your society for what they could not do, because they did not know. But this is your time now. Break the chain, end the stigma, talk about emotions, talk about mental health, spread the word, and take an action out of responsibility. This is your responsibility to take care of yourself. You are your first and foremost responsibility. Start taking care of yourself. That is the only thing you can do in the world. Rest, everything is going to fall into place. Yeah.
Great. Great. So thank you very much, Aroba, for being here. It was wonderful to have you. It was my pleasure to have you. Thank you. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me here, Laksha. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you again.